We are live here at the Wellmont Theater where Ted Nugent is going to be performing. And we are doing a live, and we are going to get with us. It's Hetty. We are going to do some live interviews out here. We are live with you in Montclair at the Ted Nugent protest. We're bringing this to you live and direct. I'm going to get one of the organizers here with us so we can do a quick interview with one of the organizers here with us. Yes.
I'm Councilwoman West.
This is Councilwoman. Yes.
Oh, okay. Definitely. So tell us why we have so many people out here today to protest the Ted Nugent appearance here today at the Wellmont Theater.
Because it is a civic duty to protest intolerance and hatred and bigotry. It is a civic duty, and everyone says we do not tolerate.
No, Ted Nugent have said some really, really bad things regarding.
I have them right here.
Yes, just let the audience know some of the things that Ted Nugent have said about his hate speech.
On Trayvon Martin, he was a dope-smoking, racist, gangsta wannabe. On President Obama, all right, well, he said he was a subhuman mongrel and called him a monkey. About Hillary Clinton, he said a toxic C-word, which I won't even repeat. On the end of slavery, I'm beginning to wonder if it would have been better or been best had the South won the Civil War. On undocumented immigrants in an unauthorized entry, armed like they are right now, invading our country, I'd like to shoot them dead. That's inciting violence. All right. On prominent women in office. Hey, Hillary, you might want to ride one of these into the sunset, you worthless bee. And about Barbara Baker, she might want to suck my machine gun. Hey, all right. And it goes on. But the important thing is not the politics, it's the hatred. In public, we need civil dialogue. We do not need people provoking hatred and violence and intolerance. And that's why we're out here, to say this is not acceptable in our community.
You know, it is really kind of sad that the Wellmont didn't decide that, you know what, we don't want this type of hatred in our community. And they decided against him performing here today.
I know. Just yesterday, I heard that in Idaho, an Indian tribe said no. We believe in human rights, and we do not want to promote this type of bigotry. And they canceled the show. It's too bad that the Wellmont did not do the same thing. And it is, and not only the Wellmont, all right, but the people that built it.
Yes. And I hope you guys actually continue. Maybe there are other places can learn from us here today and do different and get rid of Ted Nugent.
Stop it. Let's stop it. All right?
Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Next, we're going to go with the councilwoman here in Montclair. What brings you out here today?
Councilwoman Dr. Renee Baskerville, because there's no room for hate, not only in our Montclair community, but in any community. And I be on the line wherever we are. We've done this before in Newark when they've had issues of being hated to the community. We've done it in our southern states, and we're doing it in Montclair. The sad thing is that we're doing this today at a time when we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of our civil rights, and we should be celebrating, especially in a township like Montclair, the diversity, the spirit of ecumenism, the spirit of tolerance that most of us that moved to Montclair say we want.
So how come the management at the Wellmont didn't see fit that you really don't need this type of hate in our type of communities here in Essex County? What do you think that, and they didn't decide to say, you know what, we don't want Ted Nugent in our community?
You know, I can't really speak for the management. I have not spoken to them, and I'm not sure if this reflects their feeling or their desire, or if it was just a matter of booking someone and resources. I have no idea. For me personally, some things you can't buy, and that's, you know, my soul and my sense of consciousness in a community such as Montclair. So I'm out here, and I know why I'm representing, you know, not only Montclair, but people all across the nation that know that there's no room for hate. The thing that is really appalling to me is this individual is running around. He's made statements against our president of these United States that if anybody else, especially especially a person of color, made those same remarks, they would be in jail. Yet and still he's allowed to go on and create this spirit of hate. We don't want it in Montclair, not in the air, at Montclair.
You know, and it's sad that he actually called the president a mongrel.
Absolutely. And then there were some other comments, and I don't want to try to quote them, but they were regarding if he ran for election and won again, some other comments that he made that could have been terroristic in nature. If he were a man, you know, definitely if he was a man from some other background.
Well, Councilwoman, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And as we continue, we're getting the crowd much bigger and bigger. Thank you so much.
That's right, absolutely. Thank you.
And here we have with us, should I call you the Democratic leader of Essex County? Is that what it is?
Well, that's a job responsibility, but you know, you can just call me Leroy, and that'll work just fine.
Well, we have with you the esteemed Leroy Jones here. Doing his civic duty, Mr. Leroy Jones, what brings you out here today on this street here in Montclair and Montclair?
What brings me out is conscientious and concerned citizens, you know, who just want to say no to bigotry, you know, hate and racism. You know, we're out here with, you know, the CWA, Citizen Action, Montclair Blue Wave, you know, just, you know, working families organizations, and most importantly, you know, elected officials from Montclair, and, you know, just, you know, grassroots folks who just want to say, you know, no to hatred. And, you know, Montclair Wellmont, you know, had the, you know, audacity to host Ted Nugent here. And we certainly understand that, you know, America is a country of rights. And, you know, one has, you know, the right to espouse his views as, you know, as offbeat and, you know, as inappropriate as his are. But, you know, we certainly enjoy the right to demonstrate and to express our views of, you know, good and common decency. And, you know, that's all the stuff that he does not represent. So we're here in full force to say no to hatred.
So you are not upset with Mr. Ted Nugent as far as his First Amendment right to free speech is concerned?
No, I'm not upset at all. I'm disappointed in you know, individuals who just don't you know, have a sensitivity of concern, humanity, and respect for other folks. You know, and you know, understanding you know, diversity is what makes this country strong. And when people try to tear that down, you know, that is you know, against you know, our fundamental rights and fundamental principles as Americans and you know, just human beings.
But Leroy, I have to ask a question. The Wellmont still allowed Ted Nugent to perform. So how successful do you think that the people out here today, being that he's still allowed to perform at the Wellmont?
Well, I think it's successful in a way that you know, we're out here you know, demonstrating our position, our feelings, and you know, and our opposition to him. You know, it gives us an opportunity to show America, you know, whether it's along you know, Bloomfield Avenue in New Jersey, or whether it's you know, another state at another time. You know, and individuals there will do their thing. You know, the Wellmont said no, that's a business over here, and I get that. You know, he has a constitutional right of free speech. Well, I get that and respect that. But we also have the right to organize. We also have the right to assemble, and we're here with that, you know, with that sacred right to do just that, organize and assemble, and say no to hatred. You know, it's America at its best right about now.
Leroy, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right.
There you have it. Leroy Jones here,
Hey, you.
talking about what's going on here. And I have a young man here. What brings you out here today, sir? Can you please state your name? You are live on here on the South Orange Music Online Radio Experience. What brings you out here today?
Well, basically, I'm a councilman here in Montclair as well. And once we heard that the concert was taking place here in town, we were quickly behind the group that wanted to come out here and protest. We all understand free speech, but we also have the right to assemble and really protest this message of hate. You know, we're a community that really celebrates our diversity. That's one of our strengths. We celebrate it every day in many ways, and to have this be a platform for his hateful message, we wanted to come out here and let our opinions be known.
So, but do you think that coming out here today and standing up here and protesting is really having an effect on Ted Nugent as he goes forward with the type of hate speech that he has espoused in the future?
I doubt that it'll change his thoughts or his message, but it's not about him. It's about our community. Our community is one that's inclusive. Our community is one that celebrates, again, all the different things that we have to offer. So I'm not out here because I'm thinking I'm going to change his mind. I'm out here to show that this is what we're about. So to others who come by, who others aren't aware of what's going on here today, they hear this message, a message of inclusiveness, a message of tolerance, and that's why I'm out here.
But what about the Wellmont? and they had seen fit that maybe we don't need Montclair and Essex County doesn't need this type of person in their backyard.
Well, you're probably asking the wrong person. You should be asking them on that. I would agree with you, right? I mean, I think that knowing the community that you operate in, knowing the community that you're hoping to enhance, you probably want to be selective about who you allow to come on and perform and give a stage to spread a message. So I would hope they think about that, and maybe that's a little bit of a message that comes out of this as well today.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman. Here we have the councilman. We're going to go to another young lady right here. Hello. Hi, how are you doing? You are live on here. What brings you out here to this evening in front of the Wellmont?
You're right next door to the gentleman who said what he said about the issue, and I certainly support everything he said. And we do not allow for intimidation. Justice. We have to stand up and speak out. No hate in the Garden State. Multicultural, multiracial community. And the man who is performing tonight is against all of those. No hate in the Garden State.
Are you a resident of Montclair?
I am a resident just around the corner.
Okay, thank you so much. And here we have another one. It's Ted Nugent, Montclair, No Place for Hate, BlueWaveNewJersey.org. And here we have a young lady. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good. What brings you out here this evening in front of the world?
I'm sorry, I'm a part of our community. This is a diverse community, and he's a hate for me, and his hate has no place here anywhere. And I'm just here to protest. I mean, Belmont usually has great acts. I'm stunned that he's in this community. I really am. And I came out to protest.
But why don't you think the Wellmont saw fit to actually cancel Ted Nugent?
Why what?
Why didn't the Wellmont see fit to cancel?
I don't know. I'm surprised that they didn't. But they have their reasons. I called today. I talked to the manager, but they have their reasons, whatever they are. But it's a shame. It really is a shame.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as we continue here, we're going to get to some other. I'm going to read some of the signs for you. Tolerance does not mean tolerating racism, sexism, homophobia, or hatred of any kind. BlueWaveNewJersey.com. Ted Nugent, there's no place for hate and intolerance in Montclair. You are live on South Orange Mayput Online Radio Experience. What brings you out here today in front of the Wellmont Theater?
Well, Ted Nugent is playing, and it's kind of a terrible thing because considering what he says about our president and about our elected officials and about gay people and just about everyone who is doing nothing wrong, he shouldn't be and he doesn't deserve to be.
Okay,
and someone needs to do something about that.
Thank you so much. Very well said, I must say. Very well said. And as we continue, we're going to go over to this other young man here. What brings you out here today in front of the Wellmont, this Ted Nugent performance?
Well, really for the same reason that the young woman just spoke about, which is that it's disgraceful that Ted Nugent, who's a racist and who's demeaned our president, is performing in Montclair, which is a town which really values diversity and has a lot of different groups here and supports a progressive vision of this country. And Ted Nugent is just the opposite. And this Wellmont Theater, which a lot of us have been to before, it's really a disgrace that they're hosting Ted Nugent.
But why do you think the Wellmont didn't see fit that, you know what, maybe we can not have this concert here tonight? Why do you think they do?
Money. Profits.
Capitalism, is that what you
Absolutely, yes.
So they could put capitalism in front of everything else?
They put money in front of, recognizing the hurt that this was causing the town of Montclair. And I think they just had a very narrow view of what this is. But I think it's going to hurt them in terms of their profits down the road because having someone like Ted Nugent at the Wellmont is going to make a lot of people reconsider going to the Wellmont when another show is coming up.
But do you have any feedback if the performance has been sold out tonight, or if it's been any kind of feedback on what type of audience he's going to be having there tonight? I see you could come in.
I heard that they haven't even sold half the tickets.
They haven't sold half the tickets.
Yeah, and I may not be a fan of Ted Nugent's, but I don't think many people are either.
Okay. So you say just because of some of the hateful speech that he has espoused in the future, in the past 6 weeks?
Well, I'm sure the hateful speech turns some people off, but some people don't like his music.
So you're saying that some people don't like his music either, right?
Yeah. but everybody has their own taste, which is fine.
He kind of hates everything about him, I think.
Oh, okay. As what?
As most should.
Oh, there you have it. As we continue here, talking to different individuals about Ted Nugent. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
How are you, and what brings you out here tonight to this Wellman Theater where the gentleman by the name of Ted Nugent is performing here tonight?
Ted Nugent is the antithesis of everything that decent people, myself included, believe. We believe in tolerance, we believe in cooperation, we believe in equality, and he doesn't. I got nothing more to say than that.
Okay. So, but the question is, why didn't the Wellman see fit to, maybe say, we're going to cancel this one and not have Ted Nugent in our community of Montclair?
There are business decisions that every organization makes. I'm not in their head. I don't know why they did what they did. I don't know what propelled them to allow this concert. I do know that there are places across the country that have canceled this concert. They chose not to here for whatever their reasons are. I'm not in a business head. I'm in a cooperative state head. That's right.
Thank you. And what's your name?
Alan Myers.
And Alan, what part are you playing with this protest yesterday?
I belong to a group, to Blue Wave NJ. I've been with them since the beginning, and I'm very proud to be part of all of the things that we believe in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as we continue here in Montclair, coming to you live on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience, and bringing this event to you live out here in Montclair. We are talking about the Ted Nugent situation out here, coming to you live, and we're getting different individuals out here, and we continue. And here we have a gentleman. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, sir?
What brings you out here today to this sidewalk in Montclair in front of the Wellman Theater?
Protest of hate and a protest of racism and a protest of homophobia. There's no place for it in our nation.
Some people may say, what about Ted Nugent, First Amendment right to freedom of speech?
My opinion is that people in this country don't understand the idea of freedom. Freedom is acceptable so long as it doesn't impede on the freedom of anybody else. And a freedom like Ted Nugent's.
You move back so they don't kick us out. Right there. 2, 4, 6. We love you, but we don't want to get kicked out because we're blocking the sidewalk.
Yeah, we're not going to get kicked out.
And hate and freedom, the freedom of Ted Nugent impedes on the freedom of other people to live freely. And that's not real freedom.
But what do you think is the reason why the Wellman continue to have Ted Nugent tonight and not postpone the concert?
It brings in money. Brings in money. There's enough people who want to see the show. That's why.
Thank you so much.
No.
And as we continue here at the Wellman, here we have another young lady. What brings you here tonight in front of the Wellman?
I'm here to protest Ted Nugent being at the Wellman Theater. He is one of my least favorite people.
Do you live in Montclair or you live in the surrounding areas?
I live in West Orange, just about a mile out from Montclair.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And there you have it. We are still out here.
4, 6, 8. We say no to Nugent's hate.
You can hear what's going on in the background.
We say no to Nugent's hate. 2, 4, 6, 8. We say no to Nugent's hate.
Yes.
We say no to Nugent's hate.
We continue here in front of the Wellman, and I must tell you, the crowd is getting bigger and bigger out here. Hello there, my friend. What brings you out here tonight in front of the Wellman?
Same as everything. I say everyone here. The fact that Ted Nugent is in there, we're out here protesting. All of his bigotry, his hate, stuff he says about our government, our president, minorities, you name it, guns.
But some people may say, what about his First Amendment right of freedom of speech? Some people may ask that question.
Yeah, I don't think there's any room for hate. I mean, but you know what? The more he talks, the more people know what he really is. And so we know what he really is, and that's why we're out here.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, hi. What brings you out here tonight to this Ted Nugent marching?
Well, my stepdad brought me, but I think it's a worthy cause, and I think it's worth protesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you know anything about Ted Nugent prior to this?
I can't say I did. But I don't like homophobes or people who are racist or sexist, so...
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. So there we have it as we continue here.
See the guy in the sport jacket?
Yes.
That's Bob Russo. I want you to talk to him.
Bob Russo, okay.
Bob Russo.
Is he
town council?
He's town council.
Deputy mayor.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to try to get the deputy mayor here. The deputy mayor.
All right, we're going to start the program.
Hi, everybody.
We are continuing here in front of the Wellman Theater.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Montclair.
I'm Bob Russo.
Coming off.
I can talk to you quickly.
Yeah, here we have the deputy mayor of Montclair. Mr. Deputy Mayor, what brings you out here today in front of the Wellman Theater?
We're fighting against hate. We don't mind a person having free speech, but not free hate. And we're not going to allow this in Montclair. So we're protesting Ted Nugent. I, as Deputy Mayor, Councilor Spiller's here, Councilor Baskerville. I'm Bob Russo, Deputy Mayor of Montclair. Will not tolerate Ted Nugent's hate talk.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Here's my name if you need it.
Yes.
New Jersey Citizen Action and the communication. In college, I took up the guitar, and later the mandolin, finally playing the washboard in a jug band with fellow Montclarian, where is he? John Atlas. I was rooster on the washboard. My kids learn music. And as a child of the 60s, music was already a vital part of our culture. It became the vehicle through which I and those around me heard our concerns amplified. Sorry. I know, I'm going to put them on. Amplified by musicians like Woody Guthrie, Phil Oakes, Odetta, Pete Seeger, Bob Dylan, Peter Paul, and Marilyn. Their words brought messages of hope, tolerance, understanding, and of course, love and peace throughout the world. Before I finish, I'm going to introduce Leroy Jones. He's the chairman of the Essex County Democratic Party because he's got to go someplace.
Thank you, Phyllis. I didn't know Phyllis was so, artistic, in terms of, her musical prowess. But let me just say to all of you, today is a, monumental step to say no against hatred, to say no against bigotry, to say no against racism. The guy in that theater over there, represents everything that, he doesn't represent anything that we all stand for. And today's statement of, peaceful demonstration and the right to assemble is something that, we are going to take advantage of, and we're going to do that, and he's going to hear us loud and clear. Yes, he does, enjoy the First Amendment right of freedom of speech. And we understand that, and we respect that. But we do not respect, the ill hate and what he espouses, because it cuts against the core of what common and decent people like all of us here represent. So I commend all of you today. And as that ambulance tries to shallow my voice, I'm not going to allow that to do that. But to CWA, to Montclair Blue Wave, to Citizen Action, to all the elected officials that have come from Montclair, the New Jersey General Assembly, the County of Essex, and certainly the City of Newark and Mildred Crump to come all the way up here. That speaks volumes for what we all represent. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and let's make sure there's no hate, there's no place for hate, there's no place for intolerance in Montclair or anywhere in the Garden State. Thank you so much.
That was Leroy Jones, the Democratic leader of the Democratic Party.
The music of the 60s inspired, we organized, we mobilized.
The music that we're hearing tonight, the homophobic hate, the toxicity, the violence, the racism, the sexism that's coming out of the man in that building tonight will not be tolerated. Not in Montclair, not in Essex County, and not in New Jersey. There's no place for hate in our place. We need to stand together and fight against that hate. I'd like to call upon Hetty Rosenstein. Where are you, Hetty? Hetty is the New Jersey Director of CWA District 1. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Shame on the Wilmot! 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 Several months ago, I began looking for some summer concerts to go to. And I happened to come across a notice that Ted Nugent would be playing in Montclair. Somebody do me a favor. Oh, you hold this for me? Because I can't turn pages. Right. Thank you. Just squeeze it.
Yeah, you all right?
I was floored to find out that Ted Nugent was going to be in Montclair. And I immediately got on the phone and I called them thinking I was going to call a manager and say, you made a mistake in your booking. There's some kind of a mistake here. You've got Ted Nugent at the Walmart. Maybe I'll hold it. Can you turn pages? Okay. Someone don't let him run in here. So I thought that they would cancel the concert. That's fair. I called and I left a message and I received no call back. And a day or two later, I sent out an email to a few friends and said, call the Wellmont. And we know that dozens of people called this theater and left messages asking to speak to management. And not once did they return a phone call. When they finally got tracked down by the press, they blamed it on their booking agent. And they said Live Nation booked him. We don't have any responsibility whatsoever. So let's be really clear about this. This is not a First Amendment issue. This is a commercial enterprise that is making a profit on hate. And we have to demand as citizens that they not do that and that they stop it. We know that hate doesn't belong in New Jersey and that it's not acceptable for the Wellmont to ignore this demand from our community. And that's what all of us stand for, whether we're in the labor movement or the environmental movement or we're part of advocacy groups and we demand equality. We're saying that hate is not okay. So we want to I want to ask you to actually operate as the collective conscience of our community by passing a motion. Okay? So here's the motion.
We're circulating.
Okay? We, the people of Montclair, Essex County, and New Jersey communities demand that the owner of the Wellmont Theater meet with our representatives within the next 30 days and publicly issue a policy that will prevent the future booking of hate acts. Is that right? If the Wellmont refuses to do so, then we will call upon the community to stop buying tickets at the Wellmont. Okay, so do I have a motion on this floor? Second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying no hate in Montclair. 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 Thank you, Phyllis.
And there you have it, Hetty Rosenstein. Are we going to have Phyllis?
All right, greetings, brothers and sisters. I'll be very brief. The reality is that as residents of Montclair and the surrounding towns, as proud residents of New Jersey, we refuse to accept the watered-down excuses the Wellmont has put before us to say that they are not responsible for what they bring into our community is unacceptable. Am I right? Are we going to take it? We love to say that in New Jersey Working Families, in all of our partner community organizations, we say that when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. And we are going to fight hatred, we are going to fight ignorance, and we are going to fight back on bullshit excuses. Thank you.
And I want to thank all of the electeds that are here. My name is Marcia Marley, and I'm head of Blue Wave, New Jersey. And before I say a few words, a very few words, I want to give the microphone to our council members, Sean and Renee Baskerville, Sean Spiller, and our Deputy Mayor, Bob Russo. Please say a few words.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Renee and Sean and I have to go to our council meeting at 7 p.m. where we're going to discuss this again. But we were fighting all week on this issue. Renee and Sean, come on up here. Renee and Sean and I and the rest of the council are all disappointed in the Wellmont. I talked to the manager today. I finally got the manager on the phone at 3 o'clock, and he says to me he'll never have this guy in Montclair again. I said, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. He said, they're never going to do anything that offends their neighbors in Montclair again. I said, that's not good enough. So we want to see that implemented, that there will never be another person like Ted Nugent speaking or performing in Montclair with hate speech, homophobic speech, racism, sexism. This is Montclair, diverse, progressive. We're not going to allow it. Sean, Renee, and I, the mayor and the council, will try our best to stop any further shows like this in Montclair. Thanks for your support. We're going to go to our meeting now.
Did you want to say a couple of things?
I'll just say a couple things.
Just keep it short.
We'll fast forward. Well, thank you, everybody, and I appreciate everybody being out here. The only thing I want to say is, this reporter actually right here just asked me a minute ago, he said, you know, Councilman Spiller, do you think you're going to change his message by being here today? And I said, you know what? It's not about him and his message. He's not going to change, but this is about us as a community. We are so proud of our diversity, and the reason we're here is to show everybody in this community, everybody who goes by, everybody who goes to that concert, that we are proud of ourselves, we're proud to be here, we're proud for what we stand for, and we won't be quiet about it. So thank all of you for being here today.
Power to the people. No hate in the Garden State. Yes, it is important that we say no to hate. Yes, it is important that we say no to bigotry. Yes, it is important that we say no to homophobic remarks. We moved to Montclair in the Garden State because we want to teach our children tolerance. We want to teach them the importance of ecumenism. We want to teach them the importance of diversity, people coming together. And no, we will not tolerate this in Montclair. No hate in the Garden State. Power to the people.
Okay, I'd like to introduce our assemblyman from this district, Tom Giblin.
Thank you, Phyllis. Brothers and sisters, we're going to win the battle here tonight because with this type of energy, the owners and managers of the Wellmont Theater will have no recourse. This is not going to be a money-making proposition for them. They're going to see that people here in Montclair are united. We're against any form of hate and all of the things that are taking place here by this entertainer. Ted Nugent is not the way Montclair people think. All I can say is we're going to be here tonight. Make sure tomorrow you give them a call. Make sure you send them a letter. Make sure if you see anything coming up, even close to this in the future, that we're out there doing our part. All I can say is, united we stand, divided we fall. Keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you.
I want to acknowledge
introduce Brendan Gill, Essex County Freeholder.
Thank you so much. Teddy, thank you for everything that you did to help put this together. To all my brothers and sisters in labor that are here across the board. I was born and raised in this community, as many of you know, and this is a community that taught me about tolerance, about rejecting hate and hate speech. And I see the sign, hate speech is not free speech, and I could not agree more. So as Assemblyman Giblin said, as Councilman Spiller said, we are here together united. United we stand. We're going to stand here not just tonight, but we're going to continue this fight to let whoever needs to know at the Wellmont that we will not tolerate this type of act or rhetoric in our community. Not here in Montclair, but across the state of New Jersey. So please know, brothers and sisters, that I stand with you, and let's drive out hate. Thank you.
Council President from the city of Newark, Mildred Crum. Councilwoman Crum.
Thank you, fellas. Hello, everybody. I don't know why you're here, but I know why I'm here. I drove all the way up Bloomfield Avenue looking for people who were progressive, who would not tolerate racism, hatred of any kind. I come from the generation, and I'm so glad to see Mayor Victor Luca, who was born and raised in the city of Newark, and so he's been well trained. You all know that, right? We live by a motto: people who are united can never be defeated. So share that with me. People who are united can never be defeated. People who are united can never be defeated. And what we want to do is we want to defeat the Ted Nugents of this world. And we want to make sure that the Wellmont never does this again. And so we stand in solidarity with you from the great city of Newark, and we've got some Newarkers in the house to let you know that we share with you. God bless, and onward.
This isn't just a Montclair problem, and it's not just a Newark problem, and it's an everybody problem. And with that, I'd like to introduce Vic DeLuca, Mayor of Maplewood. Where is Vic?
Thank you, Phyllis, and we're here across Essex County to stand with Montclair to say no to Ted Nugent. No to Ted Nugent, no to his hate. This is not the kind of community that will accept hate speech. We say free speech, but it has to be responsible speech. Ted Nugent is wrong on all the issues, and we're here to say, no way, Ted! No way, Ted! No way, Ted! No way, Ted! Maplewood stands with you, Montclair!
And that's our esteemed Mayor Vic DeLuca out here supporting the issue here in Montclair.
Against hate, if I didn't call up Larry Ham, People's Organization for Progress. Larry Ham, where are you? I know you're here.
It's coming. It's coming.
Larry.
It's coming.
There you are.
No hate in the Garden State. No hate. No hate in the Garden State. 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 Brothers and sisters, give the organizers of this event today a big hand. They're doing the right thing. I'm glad to join with the organizers of this event against the appearance of Ted Nugent in this time of war and division and strife in the world. We need celebrities and public figures who will bring people together, not drive people apart. We need celebrities and public figures and artists and cultural workers that will focus on what we have in common and not our differences. So I'm glad to be here today to join with you, and I hope that we will continue to join together in the struggle for racial justice, equality for all people in this country. Thank you. Power to the people.
Okay, I'd like to ask the Solidarity Singers who are going to close out this event to come on up front, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Marcia Morley, the president of Blue Wave New Jersey, and our town hosts for tonight's event. Thank you so much for coming. And I just want to say that tolerance is not tolerating intolerance and hatred and bigotry and sexism and homophobia. And thank you for coming out and saying no as a community. All right? But I want more than that. It's not just that we can't tolerate it in Montclair. We can't tolerate it in the state. We can't tolerate it anywhere. Anywhere in the whole world. I'm sorry. But this has got to stop. And we don't want Ted Nugent playing anywhere. We don't want Live Nation profiting from him. So yes, call the Wellmont and also call Live Nation and tell them, shame on you. Shame on you. Because all communities need to teach tolerance, need to teach that we are accepting all people, that all people are equal, and that we do love and care for one another. Right. All right? So thank you again for coming. We're going to hear the singers now. And when you go home tonight, I want you to call and I want you to write the Wellmont and tell them to meet with us. Don't forget. So it's not just coming here, but it's continuing. And it's continuing to say that we cannot have speech like this. This is not free speech. This has nothing to do with free speech. It's hate speech, and hate speech is not going to be tolerated in Montclair, New Jersey, or the U.S., or should be in the world. Thank you so much. Appreciate
it. Do I need a mic or what? Okay, say something. Carol, President of the Industrial Union Council is going to talk.
The New Jersey Industrial Union Council is here today because to also join you to say not just no hate in Montclair, no hate in the Garden State. No hate in the Garden State. No hate in the Garden State. And not only do we want to say no hate in the Garden State, we're here, as someone else said, because we're here because we love one another, because we are tolerant, and because we are a diverse community. And we want to keep that loving, diverse community going, right? So we're going to, I know you're going to know this song, and you can join in with us.
Please do.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, and we're gonna sing against hatred, racism, sexism, and Ted Nugent.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom flag.
Hatred.
Ain't gonna let no racism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom line.
Racism.
Ain't gonna let no racism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no racism turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land.
Sexism.
Ain't gonna let no sexism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no sexism turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land.
Ted Nugent.
Ain't gonna let Ted Nugent turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let Ted Nugent turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, nobody turn me around. And let nobody turn me around. Turn me around. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking. Keep on talking. Marching up the freedom land. Power to the people.
There you have it, the freedom song out here. And we are going to get Mildred Crump. We're going to do a quick interview with Miss Mildred Crump right here. Long esteemed Newark person of massive credibility. What brings you out here today?
Y'all know
Mildred
Paul and
Crump.
Silas?
It's called unity in the community. The issue of Ted Nugent, his racist, sexist, his jail, is not just a Montclair issue. It affects Newark as well. And so we need to be united as an Essex County community to fight this gentleman. I shouldn't call him, to fight this man and his value system.
There you have it, Mildred Crump. Let's get back to the music.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Paul and Silas began to shout. Jail doors open and they walked out. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. The only thing that we did wrong was staying in the wilderness too long. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. The only thing that we did right was the day we began to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Freedom's name is mighty sweet. Black and white are gonna meet. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. The only chain that we can stand is the chain of hand on hand. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. We fought jail and violence too, but our love has seen us through. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Got my hand on the freedom plow. There ain't nobody gonna stop me now. Keep your hands on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. One more chorus. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize.
and gentlemen, keep your eyes on the prize. We are going to get Mayor Vic DeLuca. Here we have our esteemed mayor, Mayor Vic DeLuca. Mayor DeLuca, what brings you out here to the Wellmont tonight?
Well, Ted Nugent said some really bad things about a lot of people and about this country, and I think I want to be out here to stand with my brothers and sisters against hate, against intolerance, against homophobia, and so that's why I'm here, just to say no to Ted Nugent.
You know, Mayor DeLuca, some people talk about his First Amendment right to freedom of speech. You know, for him to say the things because they allow him to speak. And I'm just asking that question. What about his First Amendment right as far as freedom of speech is concerned?
Well, he has the right to speak. You know, the First Amendment, not to get too technical, but the First Amendment is only about the government infringing speech. But he has the right to speak. What I said is that you got to be responsible about what you talk about, and I don't think he's very responsible. And just like we have a right to assembly, that's also one of the rights under the Constitution. We have the right to speak too. He can say what he wants, but we want to point out that what he's saying is wrong for America. It doesn't bring people together, and that's what we need.
Mayor DeLuca, thank you so very kindly. And here we have a young lady. What is your name and what brings you out here tonight?
So my name is Brittany Timberlake, and I'm actually candidate for District 3 Freeholder, which encompasses East Orange, South Orange, Orange, and parts of Newark. But what brings me out today is not necessarily my candidacy. It's just absolutely disgusting that someone can be here in Montclair, a town that I love because of the diversity. I grew up with diversity. I am a product of a Caucasian mother and an African American father. I grew up understanding that when you cut our arms, we all bleed red, and we shouldn't have to tolerate this. When you look around at this protest rally, you see all colors and all races. When you look around America, you see all colors and all races. And we have to hold public figures accountable, and we also have to hold our local businesses accountable, just so that they do not perpetuate that hatred.
Now, there's a question regarding Ted Nugent's First Amendment right as far as freedom of speech is concerned. What do you think about that?
I'm an American, so of course I represent freedom of speech. However, I think it would have been a disgrace if we would allow him to speak his hatred and not be here to speak our love.
Well, thank you so much again, and good luck in your campaign. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I know that I will believe. We shall overcome someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, singing "We Shall Overcome One Day." We shall overcome one day. And I'm trying to get a young man by the name of Ted Ham out here so we can talk to him. But I think he has left us. So we're going to see what else. We'll talk to the gentleman here. How are you doing, sir?
All right.
What brings you out to the Wellmont Theater tonight?
Protest Ted Nugent and his racist, racist rants and, sexist rants and, and all the other things that that he stands for. I mean, that's just it in a nutshell.
But at the end of the day, you have to ask a question. He's still performing tonight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It didn't stop him from performing. It didn't stop the Wilmot from, All right, man. From hiring them and letting them play, so maybe it'll stop them for future concerts.
Thank you so kindly.
All right.
Okay, and there you have it. Not stopping Ted Wallman tonight, but maybe stopping him in the future regarding his performance. And here we have two young ladies right here.
Yeah.
What brought you guys out here tonight? You can come in a little bit. You are live on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. What brought you out here tonight to the Wellman Theater?
A commitment to honesty and eliminating hate in Montclair. We actually are a fabulous community. It's a very progressive community. We pride ourselves in loving everyone and being very open. And this man has no place here.
And what about you?
Same thing. Go ahead.
Some people may ask, what about Ted Nugent's First Amendment right to freedom of speech?
Yeah, someone may question that, but what about ours? We have the right also not to have anyone like that in our community.
And there is another question that, yes, there's a big crowd out there tonight, but at the end of the day, Ted Nugent is still performing tonight.
Yes, but at least hopefully the Wellman. And I suspect very strongly that this is an advantage to him as a performer. However, I think it will give a message to the Wellman that they're not going to do this again. And that they will not have any support from the community if they continue to make these mistakes.
Okay, thank you so much. And there you have some residents of Montclair talking about Ted Nugent. And here we have Blue Wave, New Jersey says Montclair, no place for hate. No hate, no place for hate. Ted Nugent, Montclair. What brings you two young men out here tonight to the Wellman Theater?
To exercise my First Amendment rights to protest his abuse of the First Amendment.
Well, some people are asking, you have a First Amendment right, but he also has a First Amendment right to free speech. What about that?
This I know, and that's why we're here exercising ours.
Okay, and what about you, sir?
Same goes for me. I'm out here to protest his hate speech, and I'm exercising my First Amendment right.
But some may also ask the question, he's still performing tonight.
There's nothing that says that he can't perform tonight, but there's nothing that says that we can't be out here expressing our displeasure with his whole way of being.
But wouldn't it have been nice?
Though I'm sure it doesn't have much to do with us. He only sold a quarter of the tickets he needed to sell.
Okay.
And for that reason, he won't be back. I'll take that as a blessing.
So you want to say that even though he is still performing, there has been a significant impact on the box office, and that...
Not really. The reason why he does what he does with his bombastic, over-the-top, extreme, vicious comments is to create another stage, another income stream, another venue, because his music business it's dying off.
Well, thank you so much, and
Certainly,
have a
sir.
wonderful day. All right,
Thank you.
All right, and there you have it. Some other individuals. And here we're going to get a man well known in the United States of America, the one and only Larry Ham.
How you doing?
How are you doing,
All right,
sir?
good. What's up?
Well, what brings you all the way up the hill of Bloomfield Avenue, all the way up to Montclair, to the Wellman Theater?
Well, first of all, I live in Montclair.
Oh! Yes, thank you so much.
That's right. I'm a resident here. Been a resident here for quite a while, actually. But I'm here today to join the organizers of this protest against the appearance of Ted Nugent because he is really an example of hate speech in America. And in fact, he's developed his celebrity status, on anti-black, anti-women, anti-gay, anti-any, I guess, non-mainstream group. And so people are protesting his appearance at the Wellmont, and the People's Organization for Progress, we joined this protest today because we feel that celebrities and cultural workers and movie stars, cultural artists, they should use their celebrity status to unite people, not to divide people. And in this day that we live, this war-torn, strife-ridden world, we need people who are in the spotlight to unite the people and not divide the people.
You know, but Larry, many people may ask that when you do these type of protests, you want to see some type of result. Ted Nugent is still performing tonight at the Wellmont.
Absolutely, but the result is that the wonderful result is that, as you saw, many people came out here today, people of various races, ethnic groups, men and women, gay and straight, people of various political parties, all united around the message that we need love, not hate. And that really is the victory today.
Now, do you think these type of events will have any effect on Ted Nugent as he goes forward?
Well, if it takes off and he begins to see protests at places other than Montclair, New Jersey, it may have an impact on him. It's had an impact on others, but then there's some people who are just so recalcitrant that they refuse to change their ways. But, you know, sometimes a good thing can come out of a bad thing, and maybe out of this this effort, you know, we will continue to see a movement that will unite people from all walks of life as one, unite them as one, so that we can make this country an even better place. This is a great country, but it certainly needs improvement.
So Larry, if you had 1 minute with Ted Nugent, what would you say to Ted Nugent?
I would say, Ted, you got to change the message. You got to change the message. You know, unite people, don't divide people. Let's base our performance on bringing people together, not driving people apart. That's what I tell them.
And there you have it, the great Larry Ham.
Thank you.
From POP.
That's right.
People's Organization for Progress.
Power to the people.
And there you have it. And as we get over here, we're going to continue to speak with individuals. And we have a young man here with a sign, and I'm going to read his sign. His sign says, no hate in Montclair. And what brings you out here today, young man?
So my name is Hadid Simmons. I'm a Ward 3 District 1 committeeman in Montclair, New Jersey for the Essex County Democratic Committee. And I just thought that showing my solidarity with the other Democrats in Montclair against hate speech, against bigoted speech, you know, from Ted Nugent, you know, that's part of what he's famous for, hate speech, and we don't support that.
Now, people question their First Amendment rights to protest, but Ted Nugent also has a First Amendment right to free speech. What do you say about that?
Well, of course, Ted Nugent everyone has their First Amendment right to free speech, but so do we. You know, dissent is also protected by the Constitution against whatever speech anyone might have. If it's offensive, you know, we have our right to dissent, and we're exercising that right to dissent.
And there you have it, another person out here. No hate in Montclair, as we continue here in Montclair in front of the Wellmont Theater. And now we have another gentleman right here. Ted is racist, pig, and what's on the other side? Nugent is ignorant.
Yeah, there's a little bit of rhyme there, right?
There's a bit of rhyme there.
A little bit of rhyme. So you can chant it like, Ted is a racist pig. Nugent is ignorant.
Okay.
So you get a rhythm there.
So I don't have to ask you the question, what brings you out here tonight?
Well, I'm from Montclair. I'm a second ward leader in the Montclair Democratic Party. And we don't, this is a town that prides itself on our ethnic and racial harmony. And that's one of the key reasons that I moved to Montclair in the first place. And we have this town, from what I've read, as the highest concentration of interracial marriages and people in the country, as far as percentages go. So this is not the place for a racist like Ted Nugent to be coming and, you know, spewing his hatred here. And you just look at the people that came to this concert. You're not going to find any Montclair people that came to this concert. We had the highest concentration right now of white trash in New Jersey at this concert. And it's just too bad. It's too bad that tomorrow's not white trash recycling day, because we can put them all at the curb and take them away tomorrow morning.
Now, what about, and I'm asking everyone this question, what about Ted Nugent's First Amendment right to free speech?
Well, he has the right to free speech, but he doesn't have the right to degrade people's dignity. And, you know, if he wants to have concerts without protests, he should stay in the racist South. You know, that's where he should spew his hatred, but not up here in Montclair or in New Jersey. And, you know, the management of Wellmont were warned about this. And, you know, they're going to pay a consequence. There's going to be a boycott of the Wellmont Theater, and we're going to hit them in their wallet, and that'll be the last time they invite Ted Nugent back here.
Now, the question may also be asked that Ted Nugent is still performing tonight.
Well, he is, yeah. That's the Wellmont management ignored the wishes of the people of Montclair, and so they will pay a consequence. There'll be a boycott of the Wellmont Theater, and we will keep that up until there's a change in management. Because we're not going to tolerate them inviting racists like Ted Nugent into this town. This town's too good for that. It's too good for Ted Nugent.
And there you have it. Another two.
Now I got something else to say.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with Ted Nugent's music.
By the way, just so you know, this is live on me. Okay?
That's fine. That's cool. That's even better. The only song I'm familiar with that Ted Nugent's done is Cat Scratch Fever. I don't know if you've heard of it, but that was a hit a long time ago. But apparently the fever has been untreated, and that cat scratch fever has gone to his brain, and apparently he's turned it into a bowl of pus. And I wish there was a veterinarian that was around here that could possibly, treat it, because if not, we may need to bring Ted to the animal shelter here in Montclair and put him down.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, live and direct in Montclair. As we get into it, you see another gentleman here. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What brings you here to the Wellmont Theater tonight?
Well, I'm a long time. How can I put this? I've known about Ted Nugent for a long time, and we don't stand for this kind of stuff in Montclair. I've been in this town since 1969, and I think that somebody from Live Nation, Wellmont Theater, just made a major mistake to come into this community and bring such a racist guy into it. And, you can even see the comments and people that walk by and they see our signs and everything, that they come here with that type of spirit on them, and we don't need that type of spirit here in Montclair. Like I said, I've been in this town since '69, and we just had an all-class reunion last Saturday, and this town has always been together. And you see how people come from all over, to support us here and to keep bigotry and hate, away from us. And nobody needs this.
But there are many people out there who would say, what about Ted Nugent's First Amendment right to free speech?
Yeah, that's an issue. I mean, yes, he has a right to free speech, I said, but, free speech sometimes goes overboard. When you call our elected officials out of their name, that's hate speech. It becomes, exactly, that's what it becomes, hate speech. And we don't need this in America. We got enough problems. The feudal fire here in our own country, when the world is already at war, is something that we just don't need here in our community.
Well, let me get over right here to this young lady here. She says, we are talking about, many people may say, what about Ted Nugent's First Amendment right to free speech? Just as how, you have a First Amendment right to protest, to come out here, in front of the Wellmont, and you say it's not free speech, it's hate speech.
Yeah, that's my understanding. If you look at some of the things that he's already said, and you can see him on the...
Well, yeah, for example, he said on Trayvon Martin, he was a dope-smoking, racist, gangster wannabe.
Yeah.
That's just an example of what he said.
Yeah.
So that sounds hateful, right?
He doesn't, there's no thought to it. It's just, with him, it's just...
epithets.
It's just something that he slings out just like he was slapping somebody. It's not, he has no thought to it. He doesn't know for sure anything about the people that he doesn't have any information or any knowledge of it or any background. He just...
But do you think a person like that is looking for publicity? Do you think a person is looking for recognition? What do you think? We're speaking with another one. What do you think he's really trying to accomplish?
I think he's trying to just get attention. It doesn't matter what kind of attention. He's trying to get attention.
So you don't think he's like exercising his First Amendment right to free speech?
Probably doesn't even know what that is.
No, I don't think so.
And what about you?
I think he's rich and he gets too much attention. And he gets to say things that incite violence. And, that's not free speech.
But don't you think, like when we come out here and we protest, he gets even more attention?
Oh, I think it's important for people to stand up and say no to this kind of speech. Yeah, you can't incite. It's not right to incite violence.
Some people are asking the question. Ted Nugent is still playing at the Wellmont tonight.
Yeah, but they promised not to ever invite him back.
Oh, they promised that?
They promised that. That's what the mayor said, or the assistant mayor. They promised.
So are some people going to hold the Wellmont to that promise?
Absolutely. She says absolutely. Yes, we are.
So I guess from tomorrow, people are going to be calling the Wellmont and telling them we don't know. No more Ted Nugent in the Garden State?
No hate in the Garden State.
Well, there you have it. Another young lady's out here getting rid of Ted Nugent. No hate in the Garden State.
I run this school
And
for a third
just
grade
before
grade.
you go, before you go, I'd like you to just summarize your feeling about what was happening here today and how you feel about the crowd and what was the message you believe was sent to the Wellmont.
The message is shame on them, and we will ask them not to do it again, ever, all right, ever do it again. Secondly, the message of solidarity, for peace, for tolerance, for diversity. That was the message that we sent. There's no place for hate in the entire world, not Montclair, not New Jersey, or the whole world.
Have you guys gotten a promise from the Wellmont that they will not invite Ted Nugent here anytime again in the future?
They said that, but I don't think that's good enough. We want it in writing that they will not bring someone as Ted Nugent who spews hatred and bigotry. We want them to commit to that. And they did not answer our phone calls before. And I don't know if I told you, but an Indian tribe in Idaho actually canceled because they said, we don't want that kind of hatred at our casino. Okay. Right? And shame on the Wellmont for not doing that. And so we want them to assure us that this will not happen again. Not just say it, but actually tell us how they're going to make sure it's not happening.
Thank you so much, and good luck in the future. And again, before we go, we have Love Not Hate. Montclair says no to Ted Nugent and those who help him profit from his hate speech. Okay, and what brings you out here tonight in front of the Wellmont Theater to protest a man that's becoming very famous, Ted Nugent?
I think this says it all. I always advocate love over hate in any circumstances.
So, what about Ted Nugent's First Amendment right to freedom of speech?
I think it should be responsible for freedom of speech.
Okay. And what about you yesterday? What brings you out here today?
Well, I came for this great cause. Protesting against someone that is spreading hate through his music and is, overall spreading, hate and intolerance.
No. I'm asking everyone this question regarding Ted Nugent's First Amendment right to free speech. Just as how you have the First Amendment right to come out here and protest in front of the Wellmont, doesn't he have a right also to freedom of speech?
That is my personal
Well, yes. I mean, everybody is entitled to that right. But, there are maybe our understanding of what freedom of speech means nowadays that is that should be that should be considered, that should be analyzed more deeply, because if we see some of his quotes and what he was saying regarding many regarding the president, or regarding African Americans, regarding the LGBT community, it doesn't sound. I mean, he's entitled to say whatever he wants, but at the same time, you cannot, preach intolerance.
Oh well, thank you so much. And here another person say, where are we going to try to get someone who's actually going into the Wellman Theater and hear what they have to say regarding, going into the Wellman Theater, and whether they believe that they have a right to talk about and go in for Ted Nugent regarding the freedom of speech to go into the Wellman Theater. Hello, sir. How are you doing tonight?
How are you?
Well, we just want to know here tonight, there were protesters against Ted Nugent,
yes,
regarding certain type of speeches that Ted Nugent has. Are you going to the show here tonight?
Yes, I am.
Now, what do you say to the protesters who are protesting against Ted Nugent?
I didn't say anything, not to provoke them any further, but Ted's not a hater. I don't know where, at least...
Well, let me give you an example.
Sure.
On Trayvon Martin, he said he was a dope-smoking, racist gangster wannabe. On Rappers on MTV, they had a big, uneducated, greasy black mongrel.
He said that?
Yeah,
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, those are shows I don't watch. I watch the Outdoor channel that he's on, and at least on the Outdoor channel, he seems like a very civil person. But everybody speaks their mind, and unfortunately, sometimes people say stuff they probably shouldn't.
Okay, thank you so much. And what about you here, sir?
I'm biased with Ted.
Oh,
I don't agree with others.
You are a big Ted fan.
No, I didn't say
I'm
that.
a Ted fan. Only for the hunt, then.
I'm just here for the music and the fun.
Oh, you're just here for the music and the fun?
Yeah, I like Ted, though.
So you don't get into the other stuff?
I'm not political.
Oh,
I don't care what others do.
Okay.
I'm really not
Unless
political.
they sign my check, everything's good.
Okay, all good, all good. And here we have some young men over here. We just want to talk to you guys real quickly here. You saw the protests out there regarding Ted Nugent and some of the things Ted Nugent has said. What do you think about the protesters out there as far as Ted Nugent? What do you think about it? Well, I mean, the people out there are protesting regarding Ted Nugent's First Amendment right. They say the speeches is kind of bigoted, and some of the speeches saying it's racist. And what do you think about that?
Not racist at all. His speech is fine, freedom of speech. I wouldn't say he's racist. I'd say he's conservative on the right side.
So
not liberal, I can tell you that.
Like, for example, when he says on Trayvon Martin, he was a dope-smoking, racist gangster wannabe. What do you think about that?
What do I think about that? That was his opinion. Maybe he was. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the facts about that.
No, well, I'm just trying to report it. I'm just trying to get.
That's his opinion.
So you a big Ted Nugent fan?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what made you become a big Ted Nugent fan?
I love the freedom of speech. I love his belief. He's for the Constitution, big time. Old-fashioned beliefs.
No, it's my understanding that the protests had a big impact on the amount of people that showed up here today. Regarding when the theater may have been sold out, and it's only about 25% sold out tonight.
I don't know if it's 25%. We got here about an hour ago, so I don't know. I don't think the protests have affected anybody.
So you guys are just here to have a good time?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. You should come in and watch the show. You like him, I'm telling you.
All right, another Ted Nugent fan here, as we continue here live at the Wellman Theater. Good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, we are live on air here on a local radio station called South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. And as you guys
South
know,
Orange.
Woohoo! Yeah.
WSOU?
No, this is that's the other one. By the way.
That's Signal. Okay, but it's South Orange, maybe, right?
Yeah. So as you guys saw, there is a protest out here, regarding Ted Nugent and some of the things Ted Nugent has said in the past.
About what?
Well, for example, Ted Nugent said on Trayvon Martin, he was a dope-smoking, racist gangster wannabe. That's one of the examples.
I saw the Facebook page. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. You can't disagree with
what he says.
Oh, so you agree with what he says?
Can't disagree with it.
Oh, okay. So you are a big Ted Nugent fan.
Big time. Yeah, we all are.
Ted
That's why we're
Nugent fan,
here.
but I'm also, you know, a common sense fan.
So like if he calls the president a mongrel, you agree with that as well?
A mongrel?
Yeah.
I consider a mongrel someone of all different races, or like a dog is all different. A dog is a mongrel when it's all different breeds.
Yeah.
So that's all. It's just a.
So the president is all different breeds.
I don't know what the president is. I guess he's what? He's actually half white, isn't he? So you could probably call him a mongrel. I mean, what if his mom is from Germany and his mom's father is from Hungary? That makes him a mix of a lot of different things. Mix is good, though.
Mix is good.
Mix is definitely good.
Is that similar to diversity?
Is it similar to diversity?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on a minute. Is mixing similar to diversity? Could be. Why not? Diversity is good.
By the way, what part of Jersey are you from?
Thank you. Bergen County.
Okay. How about you, sir?
Bergen County as well.
Yeah. What brings you here tonight to the Ted Nugent contest?
We've always been a big fan of Uncle Ted. I always check my political views at home, but you know, I don't go out and protest anything or try to get involved. I'm just out here having a good time.
So you think Ted Nugent has a First Amendment right to say as he pleases?
I think everybody has that right. Everybody.
So you can just say what you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why
That's
not?
America.
Yeah. Why not? Everybody does, don't they?
No, I'm just asking the question.
Well, they do. I think, yeah, people can say what that's what we're supposed to be able to do, right? We can say what we want.
Free speech.
I mean,
even if it's really, really, really degrading and it's,
once you start curtailing,
he's not the only one that says degrading remarks. If he says them at all.
Free speech is the pillar for what this country stands for, and once you take that away, everything crumbles.
But you think the president, you can call the president whatever name you want to call the president?
Absolutely, that's what makes America America. You can call the president anything you want. You just can't threaten him.
I'm sure people in Congress are calling him whatever they want.
Not publicly, though.
What's that?
Not publicly, maybe.
Oh, I'm sure they. Well, because if you said things in public, politicians never say things in public.
Do you know who Dr. Ben Carson is?
Oh, that's the guy who yes, I know Ben Carson very well.
He's a surgeon.
Surgeon, yes.
And he's actually a very intelligent man. I read a couple of his books, and he talks about political correctness and how that would really hurt the country. Because once you're afraid to say what's on your mind, there's a problem. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to shut us down.
Like Archie Bunker.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. He's allowed to say what he wants, even though
why were you allowed to say what you wanted when Archie Bunker could say it in the 70s, and now you can't anymore?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous,
right?
So you can still put people in their place and not make it illegal. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just asking a question. Yeah. So you don't have any problem with any of the things that Ted Nugent has said?
No, not at all.
How about you, sir?
Well, to be entirely honest with you, I really do like animals. I don't really care for guns, but I respect his right to have a gun and to hunt. Like I said, I just came out here to enjoy some music. You know, I try to keep my religion and my sex separate, my rock and roll and my religion and my political all separate.
So you just out there to have a fun time.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah.
And how about you? You don't have any problem with anything.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. If you told me half of the things that Ted Nugent said, I would tell you that I didn't even know.
Okay.
I know that he's a totally right-wing, right-hand conservative. And you know what? So am I. And as far as he's concerned, he likes to go hunting and do whatever he wants. And he loves guns and he's a pro-gun. And you know what? So be it. You know what? In all honesty, there are statistics out there that probably say that the states, if you look at the part of the country that is pro-guns, you have less crime.
You know what he called Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, just
the C word.
What?
The C word.
The C what?
The C and ends with a T.
I wouldn't stop there.
Well,
you would go even further than that.
I can tell you that anything he calls her, she deserves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And she's already been president already, so she has no right to run again. She's already had 8 years as the president of the United States. So be it in his pants, but she's already been president, so she has no right to run again.
She was in his pants. He was in someone else's pants.
Right, exactly. It was like they were playing hopscotch. She jumped in his as president, and he jumped out.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. These gentlemen right here telling you that they are big Ted Nugent fans, and it doesn't matter what happens.
I saw Ted Nugent in the 70s.
I'm going to go over to a young lady right here. Hello, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. And what brings you out here tonight to this?
It's a great venue. Love Ted Nugent. Actually, he was my first concert I ever went to when I was 16 years old. And I've been to see him, now I'm 52.
So, do you have any problem with some of the languages Ted Nugent have used in the past?
With him?
Yes.
Absolutely not. No, I'm sorry, I don't.
So like when he called Hillary Clinton, use the C word, it starts with a C and ends with a T.
I don't agree with that. No.
Oh, you don't agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that. But I'm not going to hold that against him. That's how he's feeling at the moment.
Well, you're a woman and you call another woman the same thing?
That is the most hurtful, disgusting word any man can ever say to a woman. That's how I feel.
But you give him that one. You allow him that. You give him a pass on that one.
If that's the worst he's done, I'll give him a pass.
Okay. All right. So enjoy the concert.
Thank you.
There you have it. Another individual talking about the Ted Nugent. Hi, dear sir. How are you doing today? Good. And you are here for the Ted Nugent concert tonight?
No, I work here.
Oh, you work here? Oh, he's a worker. You don't want to interview a worker. I couldn't see it. Yes, he's a worker at the Ted Nugent concert. But we are just walking by, and hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, pretty good.
I just wanted to do a quick interview with you guys, if you don't mind. We actually live. She's running away from me. We are actually live on here. I'm just telling you, get your feeling about this Ted Nugent concert, knowing there was a protest in front of the Wellman regarding some of the things Ted Nugent ever said. What brings you out here tonight?
Because we love Ted Nugent. Always been a fan over 30 years.
Now, do you have any problem with some of the language Ted Nugent have used with respect to other individuals?
No, not really, because that's the way he's always been. So,
how about him calling Hillary Clinton? It starts with a C and ends with a T.
I didn't hear that one, so I can't comment on it.
It's a little shorter than that. It has the U and N in the middle. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Good. What brings you out here tonight?
Music.
So you are a big Ted Nugent fan?
I'm a Ted Nugent fan.
Now, do you have any problems with some of the language that Ted Nugent have used in the past?
No.
And you think that's his First Amendment right to freedom of speech?
Yes. I don't agree with a lot of his political views, but I'm not really here for that purpose. I'm here for music, and that's what I'm here for. And, he's entitled to his own political thoughts. That's what the United States is about.
So you are separating his political views from his rock and roll views?
Yes.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. And here we have another Ted Nugent fan. And here we have another young lady here. She's look like a big Ted Nugent fan. What's bringing you out here tonight to the Wellman? First of all, do you live in New Jersey?
Yes, I do.
Where do you live?
Rutherford.
Rutherford. And what's bringing you out here tonight?
I was working and I'm done working now and I'm going home.
Oh, she's a worker. I know there was something kind of suspicious about her. So you're not going to the Ted Nugent concert?
I can't because I have to get up early tomorrow.
To come back to work?
Somewhere else, though.
Oh, okay. And there you have it. Another person who's actually not going to the concert but is going back home. Tonight here. We are all in front of the Wellman Theater speaking to individuals who are going to the show here tonight. And excuse me, do we know if the show is sold out tonight? Excuse me, it's not sold out. The show is not sold out tonight. Yeah. So the show is not sold out tonight. And I'm going to try to get, before I leave, a few more individuals here Hello, guys. Good night, guys. Hello. Good evening, gentlemen.
This gentleman would like to interview you.
Gentlemen.
What's up?
Yeah, we are live on here. Yeah. As you guys noticed, there were some protesters out front protesting Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
And some of the things that he may have said in the past. What brings you guys out here tonight to the Wellmont?
Oh, I thought they were protesting that Cliff Davies and Rob Grange weren't in the band anymore.
Oh, no, I don't think that's what it was.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought it was.
Okay.
Because you got two new guys now. I thought they were mad.
Oh, okay. You must be a big-time Ted Nugent fan.
Yeah. I like those old guys, too. I might actually pick up a sign and start protesting.
What do you like about Ted Nugent?
Music. Yeah.
What about some of the views that he have espoused in the past? What about some of his views?
Well, he looks good in a loincloth. You got to give him that.
What about the one that he called Hillary Clinton? It starts with a C and ends with a T. What about that one?
I don't know what that word is.
Coat.
A coat? You called her a coat?
No,
that's not right.
It ends with a T.
Coat.
No, but there's a U and an N in the middle.
Oh, but she works for the government. Who's that? That's the UN. So I think that's good.
So you think that's relevant?
Well, I mean, you listen to Ted for the music. He's not running for president, right?
So you separate his speech from his rock and roll.
Bingo.
It's music first.
That's what it is. Well, sir, before you go in.
Sure.
What do you think about the protesters here tonight, and what brings you here out tonight to the Wellmont?
Well, they have a right to, they have a First Amendment right, just as much as Ted Nugent has a First Amendment right. You don't have to agree with someone, but you also have a right to, disagree in this country. There's nothing wrong with that.
But doesn't, at some point in time, a certain type of speech goes overboard?
Oh yeah, I mean everybody. There's some rhetoric. Everybody goes overboard at some point. Not everybody, but some people are a little extreme and they get carried away with their views. It happens. It's human to do it.
I mean, but to do it consistently?
Well, some people are, locked into their beliefs. Not everybody is open-minded.
So you don't have a problem with any of Ted Nugent's speech outside of his rock and roll?
I don't pay attention to his speech. I don't take, I've heard it. I don't take it to heart. Look, when I was a kid, I started listening to music, and I was apolitical as a child. It's only when you grow older and you start caring about things that you really start to become political. So to me, it's just a music. I'm here for the music.
But what about the kids that are listening to Ted Nugent and listening to his speech? They like his music, but then listen to his speech. What about those kids? What type of message are you sending to them?
I think it's like anything. If you're weak of mind and you don't have your own principles and your own values and you just want to follow, then what can you do? Some people are going to follow and some people are going to think on their own.
So don't you think as a guy who could be a role model, he has a responsibility to the kids who listen to his music? And maybe from listening to his music, they will also listen to him speak. If he's going on a speaking engagement, if he's selling an album, if he's selling a CD.
Well, I think we have a problem with who we think our role models are in this country. I think there's a big mistake when you look to your rock stars or your athletes as role models. I mean, let's get real here. I mean, these people are put on too high a pedestal, and they're, some people think their opinions are that important. Is his opinion more important than my opinion or your opinion? Let's be serious.
But he has a larger audience, though.
Yeah, he has a larger audience, but he may be able to sway a few weak-minded people, but you've got to be open-minded. You got to have your own thoughts.
So you think you should separate him being a rock singer and his speech?
I do.
Okay. That's good. Thank you very much, sir. By the way, what part of New Jersey do you live?
Clifton,
New Jersey.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There you have it. Another young man talking about Ted Nugent. And I am going to try to see if I could get one final comment here before I get out. It's going to be on. It's on. You go right here. It's on air, okay? And here we have. We're still at the Wellmont, speaking to individuals about Ted Nugent.
I work in orange.
Talking about Ted Nugent, of course, it doesn't seem like if the concert is going to be a sold-out concert tonight. You know, there has been some effect on the concert. Hey, gentlemen, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Are you here for the Ted Nugent concert?
Yeah.
What brings you here tonight?
Ted Nugent.
Are you a long-time fan of Ted Nugent? Okay. You just walk in. We have these Ted Nugent fans. I think it's almost 8:09. I think what we're going to do, we're going to wrap it up here from Ted Nugent. So, how are you doing tonight? Good. Are you here for the Ted Nugent concert?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. Are you a long-time Ted Nugent fan?
I'm a long time fan.
How long is that?
35 years.
35 years. So you was a fan when he was not this popular?
Yeah. Is that what?
So, you love his music?
I love it. He's a wild man.
Oh, he's a wild man. What about some of his speech? His speech.
I don't listen.
You don't listen to his speech?
I don't believe what he says, but he plays the kick-ass guitar. He plays the kick-ass guitar. It's all. I don't care what he does in his own life. You know, as long as he keeps making music.
And there you have it, another young man, big Ted Nugent fan. And all he worries about is Ted Nugent once he makes his music. So, we are actually coming to you live from the Wellman Theater. And many people are still standing out here waiting to go in to see Ted Nugent. And we have this gentleman here is taking a selfie to send to someone about...
no selfie, taking a picture of the marquee.
Taking a picture of the marquee, the Ted Nugent marquee.
Ted Nugent marquee.
What brings you outside? What brings you out to the Wellman tonight?
Well, first of all, what's your name? Where are you from?
Well, you are online, live on the South Orange Mayport online radio experience.
Really?
Yes.
All right, so Ted Nugent's here tonight.
Now, how long have you been a fan of Ted Nugent?
How long, man? A few years.
Few years. What made you take to Ted Nugent music?
Good. Why? Because he's got soul, that's why.
He's got soul?
That's right. He's got plenty of soul. And he's great on the guitar.
Now, do you ever worry about some of his language, some of the things that he has said in the past?
No, I have not. No.
You don't have a problem or you don't know?
I don't have a problem with what he says. It's free speech.
Oh, so you say that he has the First Amendment right to free speech?
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't matter how bad that First Amendment right of free speech, doesn't matter how bad that speech is or how degrading that speech is.
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
So you think he has a right to call former First Lady Hillary Clinton, the word that begins with a C and ends with a T, and they have a UN in the middle?
Okay, that could mean a lot of things,
Well, it has a C at the beginning,
okay,
a T at the end, and a UN in the middle.
So she is, so that's fine.
That's right. I mean, you don't have a problem with him calling her that?
No, I don't.
Really?
No, I don't.
How come?
Why? Because that's what he thinks, We're allowed to think what we want to think,
So even though...
I think Hillary Clinton, should keep her political issue, things to, keep it to herself and her party. Okay? I don't think she'd be a great... She's just riding the coattails of her husband. That's all I think she is, man. I don't think she's that good at all.
So you don't think being Secretary of State was important to the things she did as Secretary of State?
You know what? I think she did a good job, but she probably was handed that position because of her name.
Because of her name? But you first said she did a good job.
So, either way, we're going to talk about rock and roll, or we're going to talk about politics.
Well, no. We just.
So, what do you want to talk about?
No, we just wanted to talk about, your feel about, Ted Nugent and some of the things that Ted Nugent has said. And there were people out there protesting, regarding Ted Nugent and the Wellmont. Without this protest tonight, I'm sure the Wellmont would have been sold out for Ted Nugent, and it's my understanding that it's only 25% full to capacity.
Really?
So
I don't think so. I think the show will be full by the time he comes on.
Okay.
It's still early.
Oh, it's still early.
Still early. He ain't gonna come on until after dark. Okay. So after 9 o'clock.
After 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
So what? He has like someone coming on before him?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Oh, who normally performs before him?
I don't know. I don't have a ticket. You giving me a ticket?
Oh, you don't have a ticket yet?
My friend's coming along here and he's bringing me a ticket.
Oh, so you're waiting for your friend, another big Ted Nugent fan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much. And where are you from?
I'm in Clifton.
Another person from Clifton, New Jersey.
Yeah, why is that?
I spoke to about 2 or 3 people from Clifton, New Jersey.
Good. Well, it's only 10 minutes away from here.
Well, listen, enjoy the show tonight and have a wonderful time, okay? Thank you. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another big Ted Nugent fan. We have all the fans of Ted Nugent here tonight. Just having a wonderful time out here. We even have the Wellmont security out front, making sure that everything goes okay. And I think we have a young man coming down here. Sir, how are you doing? Are you going to the Ted Nugent concert tonight?
Excuse me?
Are you going to the Ted Nugent concert yet?
No, I'm just trying to check on the box office.
What are you trying to check on the box office?
For the last comic tour. October 5th.
Oh, October 5th?
Yeah.
Because I was just wondering if you were going to the Ted Nugent concert tonight.
No, I'm not.
Did you know about the Ted Nugent concert?
I think I've read something about it in the ticket in the Star Ledger, but no.
So you don't know anything about Ted Nugent?
Well, I do know he's rock.
He's rock?
He's rock. Yeah, I do know that.
Do you know of any of his speech? Any of the speech that he has said in the past?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. All right. So thank you very much, sir.
All right.
You're welcome. There we have it. Another person is just going to the box office to get some tickets in the Ted Nugent here tonight at the Wellmont Theater. I must tell you, I'm going by the Wellmont Theater, and there are still quite a few people out here waiting. People line up, waiting to get inside. It's my understanding that the Wellmont Theater is only 25% filled. Well, the time is approximately 8:16 p.m. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to state I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent, then talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. I'll see you, same time, same Soma channel. Later, signing off from the Wellmont Theater in Montclair. It's in the Village with Anselm on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience.